Bred To Win's partnership with Cambridge Stud has given us an incredible opportunity to continue the links with this historic thoroughbred breeding property in New Zealand. Not only catching up with the future equine stars, but also hearing from the humans that make this stud one of the best in the world. Brendan, it's quite incredible. 6 years now since yourself and Jo took over ownership here of Cambridge Stud. You've achieved a lot in that time.
Oh look, we certainly have, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster for us as well. With after buying the business office of Patrick and Lady Justine, and full of enthusiasm, and then we had a bit of a rough start with losing a few of our boys, and we were in the middle of the rebuild at the time as well. And there's a bit of a question mark. Oh my God, what have we done here? But you know, this game's about resilience, and you know, you've got to take a few knocks every now and then, and lucky enough that we're on the right side of the ledger now.
Yeah, I think people don't realise the incredible investment it takes to come in and run an operation and do the incredible work you've done on this property. It's a big deal.
Well, it's a big deal. You know, you're relying on, obviously, your tradespeople, but we really rely on our staff are the key. We try and run a hands-off business and allow people to grow with the business and grow with themselves, and let them bring something new and different to the business and make it stronger. And that's the key with management, I think, and we've got lucky enough to have Henry and Michelle to help us with that mission.
And I guess, you know, everybody would be saying, take on a stallion, take on a stallion. I'm sure you get a lot of stallions offered, but I'm really interested in Chaldean, of course, a son of Frankel, an outstanding racehorse. And for Juddmonte to send one of their stallions to New Zealand, you know, that's pretty important because they don't do that very often.
Well, they haven't done it for many years, and when Zephonic came down last time and of course had an accident and didn't go back, but we were obviously keen to get him, son of Frankel and Group 1 winner as a 2 and 3 year old. So Henry and I jumped on the plane, and we took up our broodmare. We had already sent up our list of broodmares and what we've done with the farm, and there was 3 studs in Australia that were chasing him at the same time. And I think there's the fact that we actually flew to Newmarket and presented our credentials face to face was the difference between securing them and not. And we've got Simon Moggridge to thank for that. But for all New Zealand breeders, he's the real deal, this horse, and arguably one of the best sons of Frankel standing in the world. And hopefully he can prove that with his progeny and eventually on the track.
Well, he won a Dewhurst, so he was out as a 2-year-old winner, of course, and then won the English 2000 Guineas and a Group 2 British Champion Stakes. So, you know, he has the double up of Street Cry sire Machiavellian, the pedigree's there, and the racetrack performance.
Well, the interesting thing about when he won his the Guineas, he was actually still 2. He hadn't actually turned 3, which pretty much tells you a little bit about the horse. What happened was when they released him in England at £25,000 and they sold 150 bookings within the first week, they ended up serving 175 mares, and there was 30 mares on the waiting list. So we're limited to 120 because obviously they want him back in one piece. We're hoping that that partnership with Juddmonte will lead to other things in the future, and I'm quite sure it will, to be honest. The relationships get stronger, and there's a whole lot of respect on both sides of the table.
And I love seeing, you know, in New Zealand, obviously we're seeing an influx of, you know, Australian speed coming in. You know, you have Sort of State, obviously a son of Schnitzel, but this sort of a classic horse, a Guineas winning son of Frankel through the Galileo line, this is what works in New Zealand, isn't it?
It has done, and I think New Zealand breeders tend to breed that sort of way. I mean, it's hard for us competing against our Australian friends with the lines of 2-year-old size that they have over there. At the same time, we don't need to compete with them. We need to offer the market a slightly different product, and that's what we can do.
And of course, our Manzor fits in that category, and he's just been so wonderful for the farm here. Of course, a Sydney Cup winner such as, you know, Circle of Fire. He's had Athabascan, of course, who's now heading towards the Melbourne Cup this spring, as well as Circle of Fire. You know, Positivity winning the equivalent of the SA Oaks, and so many others. He's just been outstanding for Cambridge, hasn't he?
Well, he has, and you know, like, I think most of my hair fell out last year because he had so many seconds and thirds in group races. It was quite frustrating because, you know, you're 6 inches away from another Group 1 in a lot of cases. Does the future look bright for him? Oh, absolutely, and of course it's showing that with his bookings this year. As you know, we've done a deal with our partners, Hasta Abraham. He's not going back to France. He was limited to 140 serves, and this year obviously we can serve a few more if we want, and by the way things are going, he'll do more than 140 for sure.
Misunderstood, first to bounce out, first to greet the judge, eased up on the line.
And hello Yum Zane, of course, a Diamond Jubilee Stakes and a Haydock Sprint Cup winner. Wonderful seeing the way his yearlings sold. I mean, you know, a $400,000 English Easter yearling from Trelawney to Lindsay Park. They all were not only selling well, but going into the right stables.
I've gone to the right stables, and there isn't a trainer in Australia that's got a Hello Zane's got a negative thing to say. And the same here. We've got a few in work ourselves. He could be the real deal, and everybody says that about their new stallions, but I'd be very, very surprised if he let us down with his racetrack results. When we got him in and he was the son of Kodiak, people going, who's Kodiak? Well, Kodiak's proved himself now, so...
And a son of Danehill.
And a son of Danehill. So those lines work in our part of the world. We're pretty confident that, you know, 3 or 4 that we've got in our stables will put their hands up.
And sort of stayed, as I mentioned, a Group 1 winner, son of Snitzel, and the first yearlings to come through for him. So again, that's a really exciting time. How are they sort of growing out? What are you hearing about the way the yearlings are looking?
Everybody's got positive thing about sort of state. It was interesting, first season we had 100 bookings to him. We rang everybody we know. When his yearlings dropped, we ended up by doing 140, I think, so we got 40 extra bookings. So it pretty well tells you what sort of type he's leaving. Once again, he's son of Snitzel, and you know, that's currency in our market, you know, say Australasian market. And going to the yearling sales with his first crop, the first ones will be for sale in Magic Millions. It's a really exciting time, and that's the thing about this game. You know, it's like there's so much to look forward to, and you know, we're looking forward to January. When January's seems like a long way away, but it's actually not. No,
not at all. It comes around very fast, doesn't it? And Embellish. Love this horse. He's so underrated, as I said. The 2000 Guineas winner here in New Zealand. He had Bold Soul, a standout winning a Chairman's in Adelaide and the John Dillon, plus a Tassie Derby. So he just keeps out pumping out winners week after week, doesn't he?
Yes, and you know, like he's another one that Tasker ran second in the 1000 Guineas. He wins, it changes his profile. He didn't, he ran second. He is underrated and he's well priced at $5,000. When you're selling a stallion for $5,000, obviously you're not getting top Group 1 winning mares to him, but you know, he needs to do it himself, and he's got plenty of foals on the ground. This season will be defining for him. He needs to step up to another level, and hopefully a couple of those ones you talked about will do that for him.
Jolly Star cuts loose at the 175, and Jolly Star opens up the shoulders.
But so great also, the horses on the track too, to see Jolly Star come back in such great form. You know, it was almost Winx-like the way she won the Show County. It's so exciting to have, you know, it had to be Zoo winning in Melbourne. Lover Zoo won 3 in a row in Victoria, just through June to August. And not even mentioning your New Zealand horses winning in the colours. It's a really, really great time for the horses that you're racing.
It is, and you know, our colours are yellow and black, which of course checks, which take us back to my dad played rugby for Wellington, and it ties it back to the family, which it's important for us. But when you turn up at the races in Australia or even in New Zealand, but in those big days, and you have a horse like Jolly Star and performing at that elite level, you know, the excitement level just... It's funny with her, prior to the Show County, we were going up the escalator at Randwick Racecourse, and I said to Jo I had butterflies, and I haven't had butterflies since Probably. And you know, you sort of feel she might be something special. You're hoping, well, she already is special, she's a Group 1 winner, but you know, you look forward to it. I mean, I think Anthony Thompson from Wood and Stud is enjoying the success as well, because we've had a lot of success with Zoo Stars, and he's a terrific stallion, and we've done very well with him.
Well, this season, the last few seasons have been really good, and it's growing each season. We're just getting some really good horses to the track, and we've got a number of very good trainers and of course jockeys. So the colours are prominent just about every week. So we just love it.
Yeah, well, Jolly Star, it was so great to see her come back in the Show County, and to be there on the day, I guess it takes it to another level, doesn't it?
It does, and you know, she had quite a long break, and then, you know, did the trials, and during the trials, you know, James and Chris were saying how great she was. And then of course when she came up and won the Group 3, it was something really quite special. And to be there was even more special.
You're obviously proud New Zealanders, but it is really exciting and it is a sign of success to be winning, you know, in Australia. And there are so many horses that are racing in both Sydney and Melbourne in particular that are flying the flag.
Each of the stables talk about the quality of horses they've got. So this season in particular, I think we're looking forward to that, to seeing the colours again, and especially for the Spring Carnival, looking forward to that.
Well, Brendan and Jo, it's just incredible being out here at this time of the year on a gorgeous day. There's so much that you've done here at Cambridge Stud, but I think the most exciting thing, Jo, is looking at these new foals on the ground. It is such a wonderul time thinking of what's ahead in the future.
Well, it's been 7 years in the making of getting this. This wasn't part of the original farm here. We actually bought 2 other dairy farms. So this is part of one of the dairy farms, and we've refenced it, and now it's become the foaling unit. So, and it is extremely exciting this time of year. When we get the text first thing in the morning, like 5:30, that they've had 2 or 3 foals, and we rush over to see who it is and who was born and just get a look at them. It is a really exciting time.
And of course you've got no idea whether you've got your next champion or you've got your next donkey. But I mean, you know, it's nature and life. And the other thing about this time of the year, not only are the foals being born, but all the trees are starting to bud up, and everything starts with the spring. The grass has got the flush, and it's got a magnificent feeling, the farm, at this time of the year, just because you know that life's about to start again for a whole lot of horses, and it's really good fun. The other thing is, I mean, I guess when you get to how lucky we are in Cambridge, and if you're down in the South Island somewhere and it's close to snowing, our girls are a lot better weather here.
And we're also finding this year in particularly that we've had foals born during the day. Yeah, one was born about 1 o'clock yesterday, and another one was born 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I think it's the seasonal change. The poor mares don't really know what's going on.
We didn't have any last night, which is unusual.
Yeah.
I was watching the camera. We've got cameras on our phones, so we can, obviously we can watch if we're in Auckland, or we can just see when the mares are going into the foaling paddock. We can sort of track it. We've got cameras in the barn, which makes it exciting as well. When they're born, sometimes you think, oh my gosh, that's a tiny little thing, and then they give them a couple of weeks later, they change, obviously, then they start to grow. And others you go, oh my gosh, that's a big foal, and it doesn't seem to grow quite as much. And that's the exciting thing, because you just sort of don't know what you've got. And you look at that, you go, well, where are you going to end up one day?
What are you looking at, you know, for the future with Cambridge?
Look, we want to enjoy the fruits of our labours, Caroline. You know, we've spent a lot of time and money and effort in rebuilding the stud and putting our handwriting on it, and we've spent a lot of effort with our staff and now our horses, and we want to enjoy the stud. We want it to be not necessarily the best in the world, but we want to do the best that we can actually do. And you know, we're very lucky that we're getting good support from local breeders, and now good support from Australian breeders, particularly with Chaldean. But Jo and I very much enjoy our life, and very much enjoy what we do on a day-to-day basis, and you know, we're looking forward to the future in a very positive vein.